The big brand sale is now on at OK Furniture. Spend 2,999 or more and stand a chance to win one of 20 shopping sprees worth 1 million rands. View our latest catalog and shop these amazing deals by the 6th of April 2025 while stock lasts. T's and C's apply. It is good TV powered by World Sports Betting. It is good times of 0.0. I suppose on a Friday morning as we're shooting this, everyone already knows what has happened at Orlando Pirates. They made a big announcement yesterday to indicate or to tell the world that Coach Jose Riveiro is leaving Orlando Pirates at the end of the season. So he joined the club in 2022 in June. That means it was a 3-year contract because, of course, this is the end of the contract as we are approaching June this year. Dr. Ivan calls a thank to the coach. Says, thank you so much. We would have loved for you to stay, but he is leaving. Jose Rivera, Spanish coach, won the Nedbank Cup, won the MTN 8, won the MTN 8. And he was number 2 this season, getting closer to Mamelodi Sundowns as he was last year, maybe in the year before. Poor in the Champions League last season, knocked out against Jwaneng Galaxy. They wrote that wrong, or they made that wrong right, because of course they went on then and they are on the verge of going to the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League. So you redeem yourself with a big club such as Orlando Pirates needing to be in the Champions League, and they are on the verge or at the door of the semi-finals of the Champions League. To respond or react to that story is former Orlando Pirates captain and icon at Orlando Pirates, highest ever goal scorer in the history of Orlando Pirates in the Premier Soccer League era, Mr. So-and-so. You saw the news story. What was your reaction, sir? Yes, sir.
Ngibulise chairman my chairman ngibulise nanemakhaya ngicela support njalo iDiskiTV ngizobe njengoba njalo ngijike futhi.
Your head is shining.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah. You know, you just said now ukuthi women have got power in the house, so so ngibeke kahle nje ukuthi nomamela you must be clean like this. So that's why you see me like
We take the advice, so
yeah, no, it's very important.
if many of us don't have women, the advice is that get yourself a woman to give you direction.
Yeah, no, it's very important because Tina, banokuthi singabantwana, we behave like kids, so we need somebody that would say, hey, Mamela, now you need to stop, don't cross this line, and then so that yonke into ihambe ngendlela right.
So.
Yeah, Mr. Nkiyo, bayasho bathi sometimes it's good that you live when things are okay, when everyone is happy. It's good for you to live, but yeah, unfortunately, I think I don't know whether it's not the right time for him or angazi ngibeke kanjani, because I think he's moving in the right direction. Couple of seasons there and there, yes, the team did struggle, but everyone was supporting him, being behind him, giving that support. And the team, you can see his work, that the team is doing very well. I mean, look now, this season, the door is almost there for the semi-final. And like I said, the good team, my wish is le eyihambe ngale Sundowns yona iPirates ihambe ngapha bahlangane ku final ngibona ukuthi what's going to happen in Africa when the two Saudi team are in the final. So yeah, it was not really something that I can say.
Oh, you're shocked by the news?
Yeah. I suspected, Mr. Nkeu, because of when a coach is doing very well or a player is doing very well, you put an offer for him to keep him for another season or two, So when I saw the couple of few months that he contracted Kiapela and he's not ready to renew his contract, then I suspected that I don't think he's gonna stay. And yeah, it's not something that it is like him. I mean, if you look at how he transformed the team, especially this season, having these young boys coming from the TTC to the senior team and doing very well. Yeah, it's somebody that I can try and convince him to stay because it shows his work that he's doing a very good job.
Yeah, he said before that he doesn't stay at the club for more than 3 years, so that's him. He doesn't usually stay at a club for more than 3 years. Let's deal with the timing of the announcement, because I think a lot of Pirates fans are saying that you could have waited until the end of the season, but then it would have been sudden. It would have, because it would have looked bad if he wins. Let's say he wins Champions League or the league or the Nedbank Cup, one of the last 3 trophies. You win one of them, and then you announce after that he's leaving. It would have looked really bad at the club, or for the club. But also announcing that he's leaving now could negatively affect the Champions League. The league, the gap is too far, but there's Royal AM issue there. So that could affect the motivation of the players as well. Are you happy with the timing of it? Because Pirates are in the middle of very important trophies, especially the Champions League and the league. Those are the 2 most important trophies in African club football.
Mr. Gil, I whichever way, because one way or another, it will come back and maybe hunt him to say, no, because you knew that you were going, why you were busy. Here now we lost the trophy because of your mind is not here. But again, when you look at him, sometimes there's this thing as people that look at the human being of the person. Let's take the job away from him. Let's look at the human being side of him, and you could see in him that he's a professional coach. He knows that he's leaving end of the season, but he still puts a very good work in the team. He's pushing himself there to say, look, even if I leave end of the season, but I want to put this team in a very good map. That for me, it was the personality. He's a very good guy. He's a very good person. Then when you look at his job, I mean, we can't ask for more, Mr. Gill, because he's promoted the young boys. The young boys are doing very well. I mean, look at Mbogazi. At this stage, the Champions League quarter-final, Mbogazi comes in and do wonders the way he did, in the first leg. Coming in quarter, scored a goal. Algeria.
He's the Prime Minister of Algeria. I actually found out later that it's the same stadium. I wasn't aware that it's the same stadium.
I said it, Masila. It's the same stadium. It's the same stadium.
I thought it was just the same country.
2 in those polls angale wabuya ngapha uzokushaya 1 ngapha and you look at again Umfukeng, he's doing very well, and other young boys and they're doing very well. And for me, look, we just have to say thank you very much, coach. And you at some point we didn't have hope of really challenging for anything, because of Sundowns. I mean, you can see Sundowns with the team that they've got, the quality players, but you've pushed them. Even now, you are still pushing them in the league, and to be a number 2. Facing a Sundowns, that's not an easy thing, Mr. Gill. Sundowns they've got, I would say, more better players than Pirates.
Do you think his legacy will be tainted by not winning the league? I know in South Africa we have a lot of trophies, and we give ourselves moments to celebrate. I think 3 times other than the league per year. It's the Carling, it's the MTN 8 and the Nedbank. So you can have a pathetic season, but as long as we've created these little trophies to give people the illusion that the team is doing well, do you think excuse me, do you think there will be questions? I think he's a very good coach for Orlando Pirates. Historically, when people mention Ruud Krol, they will remember Jose Riveiro. Will they bring up the fact that he never won the league? Will that always be like maybe a negative in his legacy?
No, not really, Mr. K, because if you look at how he built this team until now, for me, he did very well. And to win trophies, challenging Sundowns, if somebody doesn't really understand football, understand the game itself, then he will question him to say, no, but you never won the league. But when you really honest in the game and know what was facing. I mean, you're facing Sundowns that can buy anyone at any given time. So it's another challenge. And for me, Uguta alwe to keep Sundowns on their toes. For me, it shows that he is a good coach. And Uguta winning league for me, he's a very good coach. And
can you be a great coach historically, even maybe in Europe? Can you be considered a great coach without winning the league? Even as a player, can you be considered a great player without ever winning the league.
You know, that's the sad part in our football, because we, all of us, when we play, you play in the league, you want to win the league.
Yeah.
You know, the trophies that they come in, they do matter, but the most important thing that everyone will respect you about it is to win the league. Yes, yeah, it will give that dent kancane ungawini kwakhe ileague ukuthi no, yes, you were there for 3 seasons, you've won trophies, but you've never won the league. It's like you went to the Olympics, we expected you to win
You gold, and you came back with a bronze or silver.
Yes, yes, and but that's not a bad thing per se, because the dynamics that are happening in our league. It's only one team that can break all the PSL teams, and that is Sundowns. And Sundowns have been doing well, getting all the best players because of the financial part. They are stronger than any other team. I'm not saying Pirates, they don't have money.
Yeah, because they do have 100 million from Vodacom.
Yeah,
every year,
they do have
plus
money.
other monies as well. They can compete, just like we say with Chiefs.
Yeah.
You can compete on the market, but your
Yes.
point is well taken, so I get what you're saying. What was it about him and cup competitions?
Look,
How was he approaching them, and why was he winning them? I know some of the finals, of course, we were here,
Yeah.
Sklabana and Abantu, because we were to be honest and tell them what happened in the finals, particularly 2 MTN 8 finals in a row, Abongile Tom in a row, and Abongile Tom was out of work for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
There's a reason why those things happened. No one is on drugs to suggest that it was out of nothing. It was something. But there was something to him about cup competitions, even in the CAF Champions League. There's something about his planning in cup competitions. What was it about him and those competitions?
Look, this guy he's very good at planning, Mr. Kewa. I've seen this game, especially in the cup final. Whatever happens in terms of the refereeing, but when I look at his team, he knows how to plan for. I would say specifically for Sundowns. Yes, he lost the 4-1, but coming back again, when you look at how he planned for Sundowns, for me, it takes something out of this world, really, to really plan for Sundowns and try frustrate Sundowns. At the very same time, when you're frustrating them, and then you manage that, you get a goal with your plan. For me, it's he shows intelligence, and he knows how to play. I mean, look at how he play again now in
Alger.
Yes, Alger, how he put his defense.
So the
how
plan
he
is
put-
always, like, if we were to put it in context,
Yeah.
it's not a groundbreaking, innovative plan. It's that I'm going to defend,
Yeah.
which is abnormal for big teams.
Yes,
But he's deciding to do that because it's a final. And
Yeah.
when he wins, the fans don't begrudge him for that.
Yeah.
The fans will never be unhappy when you win a trophy. Because if you think about even the MTN 8 final, the first one, the one with Sundowns,
Yes.
it was 0-0. Like, it was so windy and it was 0-0. If you scrutinize that game sober-minded, you will see that there was a lack of football playing here.
Yes.
But
Yes.
and it was a dragging of the game to penalties.
Yeah.
And then the Nedbank Cup final, I think, with Pirates as well. Sorry, with Sundowns. It was also the dynamics of defending a lot.
Yes.
The one where Mufukeng came in the second half.
Yeah.
I think Ishibobo Uzungu, and then he
Yeah.
scored. Beautiful moment.
Yes.
There was also the ethos of defending. MC Alger, it was the ethos of just defending. You see, so it's not innovative tactics. What we can say about him is that he was not childish. He was not naive. He didn't go to matches where he knows the opposition is better than him and come in there and open up. He closed, and then he had a plan to score. And he showed against Sundowns with that 2-0 or 2-1 in the league that, I'm going to close, and then we'll open when we have to open.
Yeah.
And fortunately, in the first half, the things opened up for him. So it's not like I'm saying this for kids who are watching, because the adults, we can't really convince people otherwise. When they win trophies, they believe everything is fine.
Yeah.
But for kids, we have to be able to give them the context that it's not groundbreaking tactics. It is just defending.
Yeah.
Right? And defensive football is not accepted usually with big teams.
Yes.
But it worked for him insofar as he got what he wanted, which was a trophy. And Pirates fans were happy with that because they got a trophy. So he always had he had a plan, especially in knockout matches.
Mr. Kewo, one thing I would say about him is that he respects other coaches and other teams.
Yes.
And with all the respect that he gives to the other team, he does his work very, 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 very well to identify the weaknesses of the opponents and the strong points of the opponents. And that's why I will always make an example with Sundowns to say, look, he knew that pound to pound, my players can match Sundowns. In groups, my players can match Sundowns. But as a team, I think we can match Sundowns. And he worked with the team, not in groups, with the team to say, I need all of you guys to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's going to open up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we need to make sure that when we say 6, it should be 6. And all of us, we need to put our foot to say it's 6. And it worked very well for him. And he came up again against Algeria to say, these guys, they're not here because they are just an ordinary team or they just maneuver for themselves to get to the quarterfinals. This is a very big team in Algeria. These guys, they've been playing Champions League almost season in, season out. So I need to respect them. And we need to work as a team. Defending, Mr. Geo, defending is part of the game. And what pissed me off sometimes with defending is that you'll find teams, they defend, get a ball, they don't know what to do with the ball. Then again, I've got a problem with defending. But now, when you defend, knowing that when you get a ball, this is how you're going to play. This is how you're going to get out, to get a goal. Then with me, it's fine because not all the teams, they've got the luxury of having good players that we can play in open game.
But Orlando Pirates is a big team. I'm not dismissing what you're saying.
Very big.
It's a big team. You can't get into the negative habit. Because if you let's twist it in the way that if you can play defensive football and become number 8, and those people at Orlando Stadium, they will murder you. You can play defensive football and be number 9. Those people at Orlando Stadium, they will murder you because it's a big team. It's bigger than Sundowns. It's the father of Kaizer Chiefs. So we can't accept defensive football. It's only convenient when it wins. That's the thing about defensive football. But I agree with you. So in spirit, I agree with you that he respected the opposition. He was very intelligent. He was like, okay, you guys are better than me. I'm going to defend. All I'm saying is that there's another side to this, which is to say that there are times when people do that, and when it doesn't work, when it's not successful, the same thing, same tactic. Just because with MCLJ, the difference was 1 goal. And they were so defensive. We were so scared as well ourselves when we were watching it. Like, oh no. But Orlando Pirates can attack them. Can ask questions from them. The whole first half, it was a defensive effort. But anyways, so let's not labor the point. We're paying tribute here to a man. There's something about foreign coaches and them being worried about their careers. In the end, they end up not playing young players. We can give him credit that yes, it was his career, and it was based on whether or not he wins, he stays at Orlando Pirates. If he doesn't win, he leaves Orlando Pirates, which is normal. They fire you as a foreign coach. But he never sacrificed the careers of those young men. Nkota, we saw him through that coach. Mufukeng, we saw him through that coach. Even Mbata is 20 under 21. Even though they bought him at SuperSport, he trusted young players. Even though we fought with him with Mufukeng at the beginning, because even in the Nedbank Cup final, he was on the bench. It was in those 3 months where he would come from the bench, and it was like, no, we were like, this kid is good enough, you can play him. But he never. Other coaches will be like, I'm not here to develop, I'm here to win. Stuart Baxter did that. I am here to win, and therefore your development suffers. So we can give him real credit for that.
Kakhulu, Mr. Keo, because if we count now the players that young players that are bafakile laphayana ku senior team, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and you look at Pirates putting young players, challenging for the league, challenging for the Champions League, winning domestic trophies. It's not really a fluke. It shows the work that the coach has been putting in those boys to say, now is the right time for him. And then he put it, because if you can check again against Algeria, we all wanted, we asked that, why Nkota didn't start the game?
That was a question.
And now, then I said, one thing that is going to change, and I said in half time, one thing that is going to change and Paris will win is that Dlamini out, Nkota in,
Yes, you
and
did say
have Dlamini and have Nkota on the left and have Lontuzana on the right, or Mfukeng. And then we will see a different ball game. And it happens like that. So the timing, he always have that good timing. That good, it's always working for him where he pulls these young boys, and then these young boys they come and do it. And for me, I would say the Pirates they losing a father, they losing a friend,
Why is he
they
not
losing a
staying
brother.
at the Orlando Pirates?
I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Gil. My wish is to see him again at Pirates.
Why is he not staying? Because there's a Saleng issue lingering. There's the reality of, which we saw during Brasten's era,
Yeah.
that Orlando Pirates coaches are trainers. They train players, but the influence is not primarily theirs. Because if
Gil.
you were asking him about
Yeah,
Saleng,
yeah.
he told you there's nothing I can do. Like, it's not my decision.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything about Saleng, for example.
Yeah.
So he may have been there, seeing that the only thing I can influence is when the referee blows the whistle. Then I can make my substitution. I can have my tactics. But I don't have much control and power there. Do you think that maybe is a contributing factor?
Well, Mr. Gil, okay, we can suspect that based on after, I mean, he saw rest in peace, after the team lost Brasten. You saw good, man, the team started to struggle, in some areas and sometimes during the game. Yes, we always question the interference of
Yeah.
some of the management. We always question, but there are interference that to see that they benefit the team. And with losing Uprasten, I think that was a cracker. I would say that was a cracker because I believe that if Uprasten is still here, I doubt that the coach will leave Paris.
But what I'm saying is that including the late Brasten
Yeah.
are examples of interference.
Yes.
Not only him. Uprasten, at least it was a public thing. We saw it.
Yes.
We also know behind the scenes that
Yes.
the coach is not much in control of the destiny of players. Let's say that he thought, for example, ukuthi izongisiza le uSaleng, ngiyamfuna man.
Yeah.
But the management is like, we're still dealing with this issue. That's none of your business. I'm saying that maybe part of the reason why he leaves, not because he's leaving because of that,
Yeah.
part of the reason why he doesn't want to have another 3 years extending a contract is that I don't want to have to deal with this. Because if you can think about Abo Pito, Coach Pizzo Masamane at Sundowns or Coach Rulani, part of their biggest challenge has always been the technical director.
Yeah.
That I don't want to not be in charge because you are going to fire me when I don't win. So I don't want someone else to have the final say on transfers, on who do I play. And Pizzo was strong enough, Coach Pizzo Masamane was strong enough when Sundowns was trying to do technical director. He was strong enough to say, I'm not going to accept this. Coach Rulani as well took the baton from that to say, I'm not going to accept it. Maybe Coach Mangoba was like, whatever, like we can work with this technical director. I'm using those examples to say that maybe, I'm not saying he's leaving because of that, but maybe he's looking at it and be like, I'd rather not have to deal with this because he's coming from Finland in Europe. Where he was coaching there. And perhaps there culturally it's different. The coach decides who to play, when to play. He tells the ownership, we're going to please deal with the contract of this player. I need him to play. Stuff like that. You've played in Europe. Is it one of those contributing factors? Is it not one of those contributing factors?
Well, Mr. Gil, you'll never know because certain things we just see them from the distance to say no, but Lana we think 1, 2, 3 it's not working. And maybe it's part of that to say, look, I've been here for 3 years now and I've been dealing with one thing over and over again, and I'm not willing to go again to
Another
face
3
the
years.
same thing in the next 3 years. So I'd rather, go. And we always, coaches they always have put these nice words also to protect themselves, to say, look, I believe that I need to stay 3 years in the team and then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I believe that even if you can say that, but when things you see that you are in control, you are in power, and things are working out for you, I doubt that you're still gonna say you stay 3 years and then you wanna go
Do you have a
somewhere
name
else.
in mind? I'm told by Justice, maybe we've gone for 20 minutes. I've lost track of time. Do you have a name in mind for the next coach?
One person that I thought of yesterday, it's only Coach Pizzo. Especially when Pirates they want to compete in the CAF Champions League season in season out. So you need a coach like Pizzo who's got an experience of won it home and won it again away. So it tells you that as a team like Pirates that wants to win the Champions League, wants to challenge Sundowns in the league, then you need a coach like Pizzo. He's the only coach that I think he can come and challenge Sundowns and challenge Africa for the Champions League.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. So-and-so. Thank you very much to everyone for watching us. You would imagine that, of course, we usually do 10 minutes, but it is a very serious topic that we have to ventilate, give ourselves enough time to talk about different angles. When you talk about people's legacies, we don't just look at the positive or the negative. You try and balance it out. Tso Vilakazi was a decent coach for Orlando Pirates. For all the trophies that he's won, you know my feelings about those trophies. Whoever wins them, really, there are two major trophies that you should win. It's the league and the CAF Champions League, particularly for 3 teams in this country. Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, those are the 3 trophies, the 2 trophies. Everything else is just appeasing your peasants, just to give people something to laugh and smile about. But generally speaking, you want to be the national champion and you want to be the African champion, especially for big teams. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times, was so spitting. For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami uLindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Vilakazi, they call me Tso. Niyazi bafethu, amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiski TV.